Yes, team, there we are, and welcome back to another podcast. And we are joined by a very, very special guest today. I was going to say the man, the myth, the legend, but the woman, the myth, the legend. Katie, how are
Cool.
you today? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. We were literally just joking before we came onto this how Katie's there sat absolutely freezing. And I've had to turn the aircon off because it was too cold in my apartment. Saying it's not quite the same thing, is it? But we'll do it.
Mm, it's a hard life.
Someone's got to do it. But I thought it would be amazing to get you on. I know so many of our clients look up to you in your journey, and honestly, from my side, you have absolutely killed it. Unfortunately, Eleanor can't be here this morning. She got stung by a bee at the weekend, and her eye has literally gone absolutely blown up. So she's not in the best place to say the least. But
Yeah.
we'll fire away anyway. But Katie, just paint everyone a little bit of a picture. Okay, how long have we been working together now? It's been a while.
Yeah. I was thinking about this the other day. I think it's coming up to about 2 years now.
Yeah.
Coming up to about 2 years, which is a long time.
Hmm. May, I've got your first weigh in on the app was May 31st, 2022.
Yeah, so we're
Eight,
getting there. We're getting
good,
there.
good 18, 19 months. But just
Yeah.
take me back, paint a picture. I know it's a long time ago now, but like, where were you there? How are you feeling? How are you looking? And what were you really struggling with?
Um, I just felt what had happened. I've always had a little bit of a thing with food and like being quite conscious about my weight. But I tried to get out of that and become very relaxed with my weight and not be so focused on it. But in that process, I went the complete opposite way,
Mm,
and became maybe a little bit too relaxed and was eating everything I wanted, try not to think about it, which in some ways is healthy, but in others can be very unhealthy. I wasn't monitoring what I was consuming, and I put on a lot of weight, and I became the heaviest I think I've ever been. Um, I would constantly go on diets, cutting things out. I'd be like, right, I'm going to try and not eat anything like any crisps, chocolate for a month, see how I get on. Hopefully, I lose weight. But I wasn't. I didn't lose any weight whatsoever. And I felt like I'd gone from having so much control over what I was eating and losing weight to just completely being out of control.
mm,
Um, but yeah, I looked back on my Instagram the other day and I realized like there's such a big gap of when I took any pictures of myself or anything like that because I didn't want people seeing me. Like every time I took a picture, I was like, oh no, I look like I've got a chin or my head looks fat. I felt really uncomfortable. And I went to Cornwall just before I joined and someone uploaded a picture of me and I cried because I was like, I looked, I just didn't like how I looked at all.
understand. And was it holding you back from like doing anything in your life?
Massively, like I would never wear like shorts or anything like that. I never wore tight clothing because I didn't want to feel like around my stomach area. I didn't want to feel like, like my stomach was on show and people to think like, oh, she's got rolls. Why is she wearing something like that?
And I suppose you had that nagging voice in the back of your head that was like, do it, don't do it, do something about it. Oh, I can't. Were you doubting yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. But I think sometimes it's a little bit like, oh, laziness as well to a degree, which, yeah, I'm not sure to admit. Like, I'm human. Like, I get days where I just want to sit on the couch, and those days became a little bit too often. Um, but I'd also get a very much like, oh, I'd be good for a week. I'm like, oh, I can treat myself. And then I'd just binge out and eat loads of stuff that I shouldn't eat. Not shouldn't eat, but I'd eat it out of moderation, and just go the opposite way. And it would just undo. I don't know why I thought I was going to get anywhere doing that, but yeah.
Well, you know what you know, and you don't know what you don't know. At the time, you were like, I've been good. Hashtag cheat day. If you see it on social media, it's bloody everywhere. But cheat day, like
Yeah.
one person, I think it's like, as soon as you label anything as a cheat, okay, it's like, big fat red warning signs because it creates a
Feels
really
bad.
really poor relationship with food, and then quite often you lead to feeling bad afterwards. But also I do see this a lot of people justify it, like, I've been good, so I deserve this. And they think that's balance. I'm like, no, balance is actually just allowing yourself it kind of whenever you want, but understanding how to control the portion sizes.
Definitely.
I think personally, I think people have got balance all wrong. But
Massively, yeah.
how long would you say you were kind of struggling with this for before we started?
Oh, I couldn't say how long, but a long time. A long time. I think I would say it's I remember it, but the dates all merge into one at work. It's when I became office based. I'd gone from being out on the streets a lot, walking. I'd get in about 60,000 steps a day, like easily without even trying.
It's a lot of steps.
I just found that really easy. And then I went office based. I was sat at my desk, plowing away at my computer, and it gets to the end of the day, and I'm like, I haven't moved, and I'm still eating what I was eating before.
Yeah.
So, and I was not going to the gym. Like, I wasn't going to the gym because I didn't know what I was doing. So, constant cycle.
So was it kind of both sides of the coin then? Was it knowing what to do and struggling to actually stay consistent with things?
Yeah, I believe so. Like, I think I got to that point where I was like, do you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. I had a PT when I first moved to Bromley. I was like, right, I want to get fit. I want to sort my life out. It was more to get out of the house, but I didn't learn anything from that PT. We spoke more than what we did, and I thought, God, if I can't learn anything from an in-person PT, I'm screwed. Like, this just isn't for me. And I think after time, I just started ignoring doing anything because it was easier than confronting it.
Absolutely. And just on that point, I get a lot of people who are like, oh, online's not for me, it won't work. Did you have any hesitations about trying online coaching compared to like being in person?
I think, yeah, I did. Obviously, it's one of those. Will I have that motivation? Like, going to the gym and someone pushing you and telling you what to do. Like, I remember saying, I'm not sure whether it was you or to Eleanor. I was like, do I need to join the gym? You were like, it would help. But like, I was really hesitant to it. But I've learned more having an online coach than what I did an in-person coach. Like, infinitely different.
And what would you say has been the major differences that has helped you achieve the results that you have?
It's that constant contact. And like, it's the constant contact that you have with Elle. Like, she's on the receiving end of my glorious voice notes on a daily basis. And she responds, and she understands, whether it's the most stupidest thing, she understands. And also, it's the team. Like, it feels like a community, like a family. I think that's another reason why I've been with you guys for so long. Like, I can't imagine not being with you guys because I love it. It's like having a little friendship group. That sounds really weird, but like, everyone supports each other on the WhatsApp group. Like, you get an achievement, you put it in a WhatsApp group, and we're all bigging each other up. And it encourages you to want to do better. And like, everyone's going, oh, I've had a shit day today. And it's like, do you know what? Yeah, we all have a shit day. But we get better at it and we support each other. And I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been amazing to watch that community grow and grow and grow and grow, particularly over the last probably 18 months while you've been part of the program. And I think in today's society, it's so rare. Well, first thing we start by saying, when you go on this journey, you go through a lot of change. Okay. You go from where you are, overweight, unhappy, zero control, to now the fittest, happiest, healthiest, strongest version of yourself. It's a big change from a lifestyle perspective, social perspective, all these things. And it can be quite lonely at times.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have to say goodbye to old friends, or you realize, like in my case, some of my friends, I realized that they weren't friends, they were just drinking buddies.
Yeah.
The only time I ever saw them or spoke to them was when I was at the pub. That was literally it. And you do have to
say
goodbye to some relationships. And I think it's very rare in today's society that you actually find a group of people who want you to succeed.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think sometimes it's a case of you highlight their issues as well, and they don't want to concentrate on that. So, yeah, you also become a problem for them.
It's always the case. And then we see it a lot sometimes in relationships where someone starts to get amazing results and the partner starts to almost sabotage them, whether that be consciously or unconsciously. We see it a lot, and they're like, well, if you're getting all fit and healthy, you're gonna leave me. So then, oh, let's get a takeaway. Oh, stop being so boring. Why are you always going to the gym? You never do this with me anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously,
Yeah.
your partner Ben, he's absolutely crushed his journey as well. But how's it been different? You guys obviously now collaborating with things to a degree.
Um, so I was gonna say about that, it resonated. So when I first started my fitness journey, like Ben was supportive, but I think he struggled with it. Like I'd be weighing my food out. I always remember I was weighing my food out at his house, and he was like to his sister, "She's weighing her food. Like this is like ridiculous." And I was like, "Go away." I was like I'm doing this properly. What's the point of me paying for someone to help me if I'm not even going to do it? Like it's such a waste of money. You know, I'm going to do this properly. And he saw results, and he saw how much happier and confident I was. And I think he realized like, oh, actually I should probably do something. Um it's I gave him advice on it, and he's massively changed it. Like he's going through a bulk at the moment where he's trying to gain a bit of weight and put on some muscle. But there's always that frustration. He doesn't always listen to me. And I'm like, just do, like, he'll ask me how to do something and then he does the opposite. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why even ask me?
And then he asked me on my Instagram stories.
Do you know what? I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. He will go to me, he'll ask me something, I'll give him the answer, and then he won't listen to me. He's like, oh, I'll just ask Simon when he posts his stories next. I'm like, you are such a piss taker. Like, literally, I'm like, and I will, he goes through phases as well where he'll go, I'm going to ask Simon a question, see if you can guess which one's mine. And I'm like, well, it's just really obvious, isn't it? Like, that is clearly your question.
I love it. I've got a couple from him that I need to reply to later,
Oh,
actually.
he loves you. He
When
does
I talk
love
about
you.
doing my stories. No, but it's genuinely been amazing to see both of your progress as well. And for transparency for everyone listening, like Ben's not even part of the program. Like he's literally just learned stuff off of you, taken even on my my content from social media and things. But I think there's something to be learned from both of you guys. It's that action gets results. And there's one thing we'll give
massively.
huge credit for is you take imperfect action. Because there's been times where you've not been sure about something, but you've tried it. Okay. I'm not 100% sure how to track my calories, but you gave it a go. And guess what? Now you're really fucking good at it. Okay. We started teasing about the running and then you've got into it. And obviously, we've got some big things coming up, which we'll talk about in a minute. But you're like, I'll just give it a go. Okay. And that is what is going to get you results. It's taking that imperfect action, because you can mull over things and think about it for forever. Unless you fucking start and you start taking action, you just get going, even if it's literally move an inch forward rather than a mile forwards, you've started your journey. But unless you start,
I've given it a go.
You have. And guess what?
It doesn't work. Yeah.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We go back to the drawing board. So why don't we just like actually paint some of the pictures in terms of the results that you've actually achieved? What's life
With
like?
gym and running or?
All over.
Yeah, so I remember when I first started squatting and like doing deadlifts, and I couldn't lift anything. I was like, oh my life. Like I was literally putting 2.5s on a 20 bar and struggling. It's right, man. But now I'm up to 57. I'm up to 57 now. And it's crazy how like the weight can go from feeling really heavy to nothing. Like the muscle gain is insane. Like I was looking at pictures from like before and after, and it's like I'm the same weight, but you can see it's
Completely
muscle weight, not fat weight. which feels just great. I've just got that confidence in the gym as well. Like, I felt so proud of myself the other day. I went to the gym and I was sat by like the weights and whatnot, like the benches, and I was the only girl. There were so many guys, and usually I would have completely avoided that. Like, that is like my worst nightmare. And when I see girls commenting on the group, I'm like,
One
you'll
day.
be all right. One day you'll be like, fuck you. Like, I'm here. Like, I'm lifting weights and what? Like, and yeah, like I just didn't care anymore. I've noticed that since I've lost weight and I've been going to the gym and I've been pushing myself out of my comfort zone has become bigger, like massively bigger. Like, I will now try and push myself to go and do sport stuff that I've never done before just to try it. Whereas before I would never do that because I'm like, I'm like an idiot. But like, I remember when I first started trying to run again, because I thought, oh, I'll give it a go, because everyone was starting running. And I remember you messaging me going, you really need to keep your heart rate down. And I was like, yeah, you don't say. I thought I was going to keel over on the side of the road. Like, it was horrendous. And now, like, when I first started doing like tempo runs are the devil.
Oh
But
yeah.
they are so good now. They are so good. Again, another thing where I'm like, Ben, you need to do tempo runs. Like, if you want to, because I love Ben, but he's like the perfect example of when I start doing something, he starts doing. So he now runs and he's trying to get his run down, like his timings. And I've gone from doing a tempo run that honestly I thought was going to die to I love doing them. And I hit so many achievements. Like, I think it was partly the weather. How you run in Dubai?
Don't train for
All
an
my life.
train for an
Like,
Ironman here. That was
like
interesting.
tempering freaks here, and I'm like, no, let's run around. I would honestly, if it wasn't against the law, I would happily run around naked, because I feel the heat so bad. I just overheat. But I've gone from doing it's still I had to check that my watch wasn't broken. I went from doing a 33-minute 5K to a 25, doing a 1 hour 10-minute 10K to a 52-minute. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, like, it's crazy. Like, it made me realize that, Jesus Christ, maybe I was really quite slow. But I've worked on it, and I've done what I thought was unachievable. Like, I remember I'd walk around a route and I'd be like, God, how good would it? I used to be able to run like this. How good would it be to run this again? I'm never gonna be able to do that again. Like, not a chance. And now I've done it easily.
Surpassed it.
Yeah. And it's such a good feeling.
I think there's something huge to be learned there. We all put glass ceilings on ourselves.
Yeah.
We'll have a limiting belief, and we'll label ourselves as I've always been, I'm big boned, for example. I'll never
Yes.
be able to get lean. I'm not a runner. Who taught you to think like that? What evidence
Exactly
do you
yourself.
have that you're not doing it? So what would you say is maybe the biggest limiting belief that you've broken through in this journey?
That I can't do something. Like, I'm not very good at it, so I won't do it. I don't want to cross that failure. But like, on Monday, honestly, was it Monday? Sunday, I
Worse.
had the world's worst run. Like, it was just awful. I think it's got to be the first run that I've done that I was so pissed at the end. I cried. I was so annoyed because I felt like I didn't do any PBs in that. I went back to square one, but it's made me want to get back out and just keep working on it and doing it again. It's like, right, let's get back on this. Like, you've been ill. It was hot. Let's just get back out, do it,
Mm.
and I'll get better at it.
Do you feel like your relationship with failing has shifted?
Yes, I see it as a competition now rather as a failure to a degree. I see it as a right. Like, I will literally, you must look at me like I'm crazy. I will literally, when something's getting hard, I will literally be running along the street going, come on, you fucking bitch. I'm like, come on. I'm like, push. Like, you won't die. I was like, you're not going to keel over. I was like, you're just going to struggle. Like, come on. I will literally swear at myself and talk to myself running down the street.
Love that.
And people probably do look at me like, what the fuck?
Oh,
But
I relate to that so much. I through the Ironman, I was literally just talking to myself. I'm going up this
I
hill,
bet you were.
that took me an hour and a half to get up. The conversations that you have in your head when you're going up a hill at like 7 kilometers an hour on a bike. Yeah, it's an interesting one to say
People
that.
are like, is he delirious or is he just like nuts?
Just completely nuts.
You have to give yourself that stern talking to sometimes.
Yeah, just I always say this to people. I'm like, we can like let's use your journey for example, where you were before, like literally not wanting to take photos of yourself, not going out, not wanting to wear shorts, feeling unhappy, unhealthy, unconfident. It's fucking hard. Life is hard like that. Would you agree?
Yes, like at the end of the day, nothing's going to change unless you take that control and you do it.
Yeah.
No one's going to do it for you at the end of the day.
100%. I put the podcast up on Monday. It's like no one's fucking coming to save you. Stop playing the victim.
Yeah, no one yet. And
do
you know what? I think
some
sometimes some people are like, that is harsh, but it's a harsh reality. Like, get on with it. Like, it's not going to change unless you do something about it at the end of the day.
Like, you can literally look at like in the plane, put your oxygen mask on first. You've got to help yourself to be able to help others. If you're not helping yourself, you're literally not going to be in a position to be able to help others. But where you were hard, right now, you have the hardest one you've ever done. Tracking your food is still difficult. All of these things are still hard. The great thing about life is you get to choose your hard. Okay. So you can stay where you were, or you can make the right decisions. And it might be hard, but it's how you're going to be a lot more enjoyable and you feel a lot fucking better in the process.
Yeah, because it's not going to go away at the end of the day. Like, you live in your skin. That sounds gross, but like, you live in your skin. Like, you're looking at it on a daily basis and avoiding mirrors and ignoring it and just continuously putting stuff in your mouth and not thinking about, like, I'm going to gain weight or it's not healthy. I think people overthink it sometimes as well, though. People think, oh, I can't. Like, people used to go to me like, oh, you're eating a chocolate bar. I thought you were on a diet. And I'm like, I can't. Like, literally, you don't know shit.
I would say for health and fitness, losing weight, building muscle, getting fit is incredibly simple in theory. It's very hard in application. Eat less, move more, but that's very difficult to do. It's then the tactics and the strategies that help us implement it and the accountability. What would you say is the biggest thing that you've struggled with throughout this journey, and how have you overcome it? I've put Kate on the spot for the whole podcast, by the way.
Yeah, that's quite a. What? So say it again.
What's the biggest thing you've struggled with throughout the journey?
But there's been so many things I've struggled with.
Okay, try
like
one.
It's not been a walk in the park at all. Not being so hard on myself. I'm still hard on myself. Like, your own worst enemy to a degree. Like, I will sit there and I'll overthink it and I'll feel bad about something, but then I'll speak to Elle and I feel better. She's like, right, get the camera out. And it's, I can be really hard on myself. And my favorite quote Eleanor has said to me is, it's better to be consistently good than occasionally great. I said that to someone at work the other day because they were like, oh, I've had a really bad day, and she was listing everything she like had to me, and I was like, it's fine, just don't make it a habit. Like, don't, go home and eat a shit ton more.
Just don't miss twice in a row.
Yeah.
You literally if you just never miss twice, eventually you'll get incredible results.
Exactly.
Okay. I think you being hard on yourself is, I'm exactly the same. I'm very hard on myself. It's a blessing and a curse, because it's one of the reasons that you now have high standards for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. And I say your body is a reflection of the standards you hold yourself to. If you've got shit standards, you're not going to look very good. You're not going to feel very good. If you've got high standards, you will look better and you will feel better. But it then comes as a caveat, you put a lot of pressure on yourself. So that's when I think it's really important to have that supportive network, or which know when to give you a fucking boot up the arse and say, yeah, do you know what? You did fuck up. But how are we now going to move forward from this? Or it's okay. You're a human being. Now let's go on. We can do this. Okay.
Yeah. Like, I sat when I got back from my run the other day, I saw my neighbour and I was like, he laughed at me because I like came out the road and I was like, that was horrendous. I was like, honest to God, I was like, what? That was mentally challenging. And I sat on the floor, the wet floor. That is how much I just like, no, done. And he was like, do you know what? He said, I've watched you. I remember when you first started running, he was like, and you were only going running for like 20 minutes, and half of that you weren't even running. He said, and he was like, Kate, he was like, you've just run 13K without stopping. He was like, that's like, I don't think you realise that, yes, it might have been shit, and you didn't do your 5K in under 30 minutes and things like that, and you're kicking yourself for it. He said, but you're still doing more than the people that aren't doing anything, that aren't trying to get better. He says, I'm just here cleaning my car. He was like, that is my exercise for the day. And it hit with me. I appreciated that. I needed that pep talk.
And so having those people around you is so important. I think it's also important to zoom out. Remember how far you've come. Because yes, you're doing more than other people, but you're also doing more than you were a month ago, or 2 months ago, or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And you might not have hit that time or hit that run, but you fucking will, because you've now got so much proof that when you say you're going to do something, you will get there eventually. You've lost the weight, you reverse dieted, you've gained the muscle. You're now the same weight that you were when you started. We lost, was it nearly 10 kilos? Yeah. Lost about 10 kilos, but now gained 10 kilos back, but literally look like two different people.
Massively, completely two different people. Oh, look, there's the big man. But yeah, two different. He's coming to the podcast.
What would you say to someone who said, yeah, but it's easy for you?
No, it hasn't. Like, in 2 words, fuck off. Like, you have absolutely no idea. Like, it's been a hard journey, and I've lived it. You haven't.
Absolutely. No one knows the ins and outs of anybody's journey, and it's not easy for anyone. It's not easy for me. No. It's not easy for you. It's not easy for Eleanor. It's not easy for Jason or any of our clients who have got amazing results. But you tell me, what's the difference between someone who gets results and someone who doesn't?
That motivation, that push. I'm trying to make change, and you're not. You're just staying in the same situation as what you're in. I'm creating goals. I'm hitting PBs. Like, I'm the best person I've been in years. Like, yes, I still have my bad days. We all do. We're human. But I think that's what makes it real. Like, I'm never going to have a constant, oh yeah, I'm great. That went really well. It's not. I'm forgetting all my words today, but it's not ever going to be like that. So
it's not a smooth journey. And I was literally looking at your weight graph, and when you talk about the journey, it looks and sounds like it went incredibly smoothly. When you actually look at it, it's like this.
Yeah.
But if you take that back, you see that trend of where it's going. It's that ability to turn up and be consistently good over occasionally great. So if you were coaching yourself and you had Katie on a low motivation day, I can't be bothered, I don't know if I can do this, you were coaching yourself, what would you tell Katie on that day?
It's okay to have a bad day. Just keep showing up. Like, consistency is key. Like, you won't have a day that, like, I'll have days that my back's not great and I won't feel as strong as what I usually do. But you adapt it, so you still manage to do it. You've still turned up. You've made that effort and that progress. You've done more than the people that are sat on the couch. That's what I'm like, I've turned up.
You've controlled what you could control rather than going, fuck it, I can't do anything, because there is always something that you can do. Okay. And what's next?
I want to get really like into like you see it on Instagram, but it's like hybrid training. Like, I want to tell you what, #hybrid training. I was thinking about this the other day and I was like, oh my God, how cool would that be? The idea of, like, I'd love to do like a Hyrox. I'd love to do a Hyrox. I think that'd be incredible.
We're trying to line up a team 1 next year.
Yes, do that. Yeah. Or like a Tough Mudder. Tough Mudder, I think, would be epic.
A few things. Maybe a half marathon, a Hyrox. Tough Mudder is a great shout as well.
Yeah, that'd be so epic. I'd be up for that. And then I'd love to then, I know how people like know they're like the Chicago Marathon, Paris Marathon, and like I like the idea of going to the cities around the world and doing that. I'm gonna buy. This is so like eco, but like I'm gonna get a little thing to put all my medals on. I don't care. I've got my first medal, which is a 10K medal. I don't care.
Yeah, Anna's literally just bought one as well, and she's going to try and get it. Do you know what would be cool
Yeah, she's done plenty though.
Yeah, she's done a few
Her
now.
journey's been insane. So like, yeah, I need to get one of those.
Should do as well as, you know, you can get like those world maps, and you should put a pin in every location that you've done before.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
I love that. And what's one piece of advice if you were restarting this journey? Maybe someone's listening to this, they've just joined the program. Maybe someone's just in their first 4, 8, 12 weeks. What's something that you would tell them?
Just keep going. Like you are going to hit walls. You are. I keep saying it through this whole podcast, but you are human. You are going to hit walls. You are going to have days where I'm like I'm not losing as much weight. Things will start balancing out, but just keep pushing through and trust the process. Trust the process. Like, yes, you're going to be maybe eating more calories than what you usually do, but you're eating better than what you were. Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. Don't give up. Take advice and ask for it. If you're struggling, say it. That was a lot of advice in one, but yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. The biggest thing that resonates with me there, and I always say this is my biggest weakness is trying to be too independent.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's okay, I can do it on mine. It's all right, don't worry. I'm fine. There's nothing going wrong. Sometimes I just wouldn't know how to articulate this. I was stuck or struggling. Mm-hmm. So I used to just go to my coaches. I don't know if this is right, but something doesn't feel right. Yeah. And then it's the coach's job to help you unpack what's going on and offer the strategies, tactics, solutions, and work with you to find what the issue is. But sometimes you've got that feeling, you're like, oh, something's just not quite right, but don't know how to like convey it. Or my thing was I just didn't want to feel like a fucking burden. I was like, they're busy. They don't need to hear my shit. It's literally our job to help you. Okay. And I will promise this to anyone listening, you will never, ever, 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 ever be a bird. Okay. I would literally rather you hound our WhatsApp messages. We'll always be back to you as soon as we can. Okay. Hit a PB deadlift. We want to know about it. Struggling to hit your nutrition. We want to know about it. Flipping, go out and resist the cake. Want to know about it. Okay. Like lean in, use the support, use the program, because Kate is just living proof of what is possible when you have the right mindset, when you lean into support, when you celebrate the wins. And honestly, myself and the team could not be more proud of you. And
thank you.
You're welcome. And one thing that I've noticed, if we listen back, you said, I didn't even want photos taking of me. Katie, you've now started an Instagram page where you're posting about your fitness journey off your own.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Don't get me wrong, I've got nowhere near as many followers as you, but when I had, do you know what was really nice? I had someone, when I put up on my Instagram about how awful that run was, I had so many people message me that I don't actually know, like that they've kind of started an Instagram like me, and I follow them because I know we support each other. We're a community. And they're like, I love seeing you post. Like, you're so real. Like, you know, you're doing so well. Like, just get it done. Like, and I was like, oh, like it really, it was really nice.
You don't realize who's watching. Yeah. And I actually genuinely believe I started my Instagram purely to hold myself accountable.
Yeah.
That was literally it. It was such a great way of holding myself accountable. Like, look, I'm doing I'm struggling with my nutrition, so I'm going to do a full day of eating and show all my meals on my story, because I can't fuck up, or I'm going to have to lie and say I didn't eat, but I physically can't do that inside. I think it's a great tool, and it's been amazing to watch your journey. I can't wait to see what's next. Honestly, thank you so much. I know people are going to absolutely love this, and speak to you soon.